translation is grossly misinterpreting the Arabic. But for the non-Arabic speaking Christians and Muslims, they're going to say, well, no, that's not what the English says. But he read the Arabic. And if you want to know what these verses say, go to the website. We document what the Arabic words are and give you an accurate translation. Allah is praying for Muhammad and He's praying for believers. And the other verse in Arabic, verse 56. Same surah, 56. If you don't mind reading it for us.
All right.
Same surah, 56. And watch the Arabic. And you guys who hear Arabic are going to hear him say it. Surah 33, 56.
Oops. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي.
So Allah and His angels are praying for Muhammad, the Prophet. Right? And then what does it tell believers to do? Right after that in Arabic, what does it say?
يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه.
This verse is saying, listen, you believers, Allah and the angels are praying for Muhammad. You should do as well. Now here's my question. When angels pray, we know they pray to Allah. When Muslims pray, we know they pray to Allah. When Allah, your God, prays, who does He pray to? To some other God or to Himself? Could you call in and explain, please? So that's another problem with your version of monotheism. As Trinitarians, Dave is a Trinitarian. Jesus prays to the Father, no problem. Jesus is not the Father. And yet, they are one God, but not one person. So three distinct persons, one God, can pray, communicate. But you're saying Allah is absolutely one in person, not just in nature. Who does He pray to when He prays for Muhammad and believers? Angels pray to Allah. Muslims pray to Allah. Who does Allah pray to when He prays? Because your Quran says He prays. And I got hadiths and references to prove that He does. But let's take some callers.
Okay, we have Mo. Good evening, Mo.
How are you guys doing tonight?
By the grace of God, doing good.
Good. I'm a Muslim, and I thank you guys for doing what you're doing because it makes me go learn more about all the religions in the world.
Excellent.
That's good. That's good.
Praise God. We want you to do that.
In my viewpoint, if there is a God and He's all just, then He would have sent a prophet to every person and every, I guess, tribe, you could say, so that no one on the Day of Judgment can say that we never received the message. And to me, all these messages would have to have some sort of unity. So, but I guess my issue is that when I look at how you guys are interpreting the Quran, you guys look at mostly the English, and you don't fall back as much on the Arabic. For example, when the man, I guess his name was Yassine, he was talking about, you said that, and you told how the Quran had a mother.
Yeah.
Well, if we were to take everything we've, if we were to take everything we heard on a literal level, yes, we could say the Quran had a mother, but don't we say mother country? And
excellent.
If there's a mother for the country, is there a father for the country?
Mo, let me comment one quickly. You saw my point exactly. That was my point. My point is, when I mentioned to him, notice you said we didn't go to the Arabic, but you just meant that what I said is literal.
And we quoted the Arabic on that.
So you're admitting it is literal that it says the mother of the book, but what does it mean? That's exactly what we're trying to say. When we say Jesus the Son of God, Muslims are taking that to mean, in a biological, literal sense, that God had sex with someone to produce Jesus through sexual intercourse. We're saying if you're going to be consistent, then you're going to have to apply the same logic to the statements in the Quran which says that the Quran has a mother. Look what you did. You said, no, we're taking it literally, but this is what it means. That's exactly my point. That was what I was trying to get at. Why can't Jesus be God's son without God having a wife with whom He has sex? That was my point. That's all I was trying to prove with that illustration. You saw the problem when I turned it against the Quran. Why can't you see it when Muslims do it to Christian theology?
My thing has always been that to be able to separate God, I can't understand that because I think God in Himself is so powerful that there's no need for Him to separate Himself, that there's no need for Him to be three entities in one.
Okay, so if He's so powerful, then He's so powerful that He doesn't have to have a multiplicity of attributes. Because a powerful being doesn't need to have more than one attribute. So why does your God have more than one attribute?
Well, no, those are the adjectives that describe His attributes.
No, but apply your logic consistently. Your God is so powerful, He doesn't need to separate Himself. Number one, we don't say God separated Himself. He eternally exists as distinct persons, just like eternally exists with distinct attributes. Right, justice and wrath...
We never say one of them.
Mo, let me just make my comment. Hold on. Justice and wrath are not the same as mercy and love. These are distinct and conflicting attributes, but you have no problem saying Allah has all these attributes. But I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to take your own objection. Allah is so powerful, He doesn't need multiple attributes. Separate His essence into a multiplicity of attributes. He only needs one. Therefore, your God can't be all-powerful according to your logic.
So He does need one. But then for Him to be able to understand, for us to understand Him, for us to understand something, we describe it through their attributes, right? For example, I am tall, I am Muslim, I'm Iranian, right?
So you're likening God to you, okay?
No.
Okay.
I'm not doing that. I'm saying for us to be able to understand such a greater being, we have to see what attributes He has, right?
But that's the point. God has those attributes. God, what we're saying is God is just, God is loving, God is merciful, God is powerful, God is knowing, God is omnipresent. God has these attributes. There's a distinction between these attributes. God's justice is not the same thing as His mercy, and yet we say there's only one God who has these distinct attributes. What we're saying is, why can't God be one in being and have a distinction between persons? You're saying, no, if God is really powerful, there would be no distinction in Him. There would be no distinction between the persons. So we're saying, if you're saying if God is powerful, there can be no distinction, then there should be no distinction in His attributes. Therefore, there could not be, according to your logic, there could not be, according to your logic, God's mercy and His justice, and there couldn't be a distinction between them. So following your logic, God can't have distinct attributes. We're saying, of course God can have distinct attributes. This is true of Christianity, and it's true of Islam, and it's true of Judaism. So God can have distinct attributes and yet be one in being.
Exactly.
Why can't there be a distinction in the persons of God and there be one in being? All we're demanding here is consistency.
Exactly. That's our point. Did you get the point we're making, brother?
Can't exist together.
Just like conflicting attributes can't exist together.
How are they conflicting at all?
What?
How are they conflicting at all?
Is God's justice the same thing as His mercy? Are they the same thing?
Yeah.
Can they coexist? Yes, they can.
Oh, so that's what we're saying. Distinct persons can coexist as one God. Why not?
God's wrath can coexist. God's justice can coexist.
According to your logic, no. Because wrath is the opposite of mercy. But you're saying they can coexist. So be consistent. Why can't distinct persons coexist as one God? You're not answering it. You're just assuming it can and then moving on.
Just to clarify, we're saying that according to Islam and according to Christianity, God can be one in one sense and more than one in a different sense. God can be one, according to both Islam and Christianity, God can be one in being and nature and yet be more than one in His attributes. And all we're saying is, following the same reasoning that God can be one in one sense and more than one in a different sense, why, according to Islam or Christianity, can't God be one in being and three in person?
Exactly.
The Quran doesn't give any answer because the Quran misrepresents what we believe and then attacks this misrepresentation. That's a logical fallacy known as